Welcome to the new channel. The new Mudflood was Armageddon, Golden Age past, Judgment not yet channel. I'm your host, Alan Paco Sent. Tonight I want to go over this false flag situation with Donald Trump and the deep state and the miracle. And my position is it's all a show. It's all the Bible. And I don't believe that Donald Trump is the great hero for the MAGA people or the great enemy of the left. He's a player. Now, whether it is simply, from the Bible, that's the ultimate source of everything. And people are going to live their lives with an end that is going to be written from the beginning in the scriptures. So, with that said, I should have pulled up a entire screen. Let's put that out there because I'm going to be jumping between a couple of, accounts. Let's look at this one first. First off, I'm going to do that. This is what everybody likes to see. The whole copyright thing, because I'm going to be showing a couple of videos. And I don't want any trouble. Not looking for any hassles. Here's the false flag.
Which SS soldier Alfred Najaks and a group of 6 other SS soldiers dressed up as Polish soldiers stormed the Gleichwitz radio tower, of which was known for broadcasting German propaganda. These troops commandeered the radio station declaring, "Attention, this is Gliwice. The broadcasting station is in Polish hands." To complete the ruse, the Germans dressed a German citizen, of whom had strong Polish sympathies, as a Polish soldier, drugged him, shot him, and then left his body at the entrance to the radio station as evidence that the Polish were at the helm of this operation. The Germans also killed several concentration camp inmates on site, also dressing them as Polish soldiers, and then disfiguring their faces to make identification impossible. With this, the supposed deception was complete, with Germany.
Wow. So the deal is for here, just be aware. They'll kill you, They know they're lying, but they needed to do it. These are known false flags. Maybe you've heard of some of them. What? The Sarajevo Breadline Massacre? Oh, that's a big one. Operation Gladio. It has been going on and it will continue to go on because we're not going to make America great again or make England great again or make Russia great again. Those things don't happen. Are you kidding me? Victoria, how are you doing? No, your microphone is muted. But that's an encouraging sign. If you figure out, close out your other YouTube channel because when they say, in the studio, that's all you need. And when I can hear your voice, I'll come back to you. I just wanted to point out that, so there's false flag conspiracy. These are real false flags. I wonder what the conspiracy theory. Oh, there's 9/11. Okay. All those other ones are real, but everything about 9/11, even though it doesn't, add up. John F. Kennedy, again, our own John F. Kennedy, committees say there's something going on. There's probably had some help. And it looks like, it was the CIA and the mob or an LBJ, the Rosicrucians, the John Birch Society. So basically, there's a few that don't add up. But doggone it, you want trouble? You go ahead and talk about it. Now, one that's left out here, Boston Marathon Massacre. And very soon, the Baltimore Bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge, that's going to be a big one here. There's a main article about the 1953 Iranian coup d'etat, the death blow, coup d'etat, the finishing touch. We'll just stick with the first paragraph here. On April 4, 1953, the CIA was ordered to undermine the government of Iran over you got 4 months, boys, somebody said to the CIA. You got 4 months starting right now to overthrow the government of Iran. It was a precursor to overthrowing Mohammed Mossadegh. One tactic used to undermine Mossadegh was to carry out false flag attacks on mosques and key public figures to be blamed on Iranian communists loyal to the government. Never heard that one before. That one has been, there you go. Look at, she's added to the stage. How about that? Now is the big deal for me, because I'm going to another channel, and I'm hoping that you can still see that there's a picture here with an open window, and it shows some comments here. Can you do a podcast with Understanding Conspiracy, or JT Follows JC? Wow, Jessica, I would love to, but I just haven't been invited. They're looking for more answers. So I'm going to go back now to where I was. And did I show that? Now, if you can't, it's showing there's nobody even watching. But if you can type in the comment, oh, there's something in the private chat. I'd rather be listening. Okay. What I was banned. So she'd rather be listening. But what happened to the channel? I got banned for a week for some nonsense. Now, could you see when I tried to show my other channel? Did that work, or am I going to have to bring those tabs over here? Something like that. So that's good. Let's see. Otherwise, I could, but it would be so much easier if I could just click on that and know that it changed to show that the open window thing here. Nope. I can't see what is name. All right. So, well, I was trying to use another thing here. So what I can do to rectify that situation is paste that here. Go back.
Hey there, guys. In my continuing explanation of a lot of what we've been seeing with the Trump rally and the assassination attempt on his life, it's raised a lot of questions.
Now, this is a big channel. And it raised a lot of questions. There's a guy that is an engineer, doesn't want to give his name. They've gone over well, doggone it, there's an open window. Here's that open window in this area. There's the open window. Let's pick it up in this part.
That this other gentleman did on his video, he's stating that that distance was about 70 feet apart. So give or take a little bit of room for error, it sounds like you guys are coming to the same conclusion about how far away at least two of these shots likely were. You're doing it based on the physical, I guess, coordinates or whatever, physical measurements of where Crooks's body sat and where the lineup of the
Okay, so you're getting a basic breakdown.
Given the absurdity of Crooks being on top of that roof and the law enforcement's knowledge of him being up there, was he the patsy? Was he the watch the moving hand while shots that were being done by someone with better marksmanship who's trained to make shots at that distance were shooting? Was Thomas Crook the cover for the person who had the best ability to take Trump out?
Well, personally, my opinion is that, and this obviously is just my opinion, I have nothing to go on this other than the video that I've seen.
All right, so here's the background. There's the open window. The trajectory in the newspapers are trying to put Tom Crook's body way over here where my mouse is by the window. Now I heard somebody click on. Let me see. Oh, so it was Victoria. Okay. So hopefully you can still see that now. I'm pretty sure you can. Evidence suggests
Where this video was shot, and we're inside something which captured all of the echo. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with your analysis. I also listened to that video and to the explanation that the audio expert gave. And I would agree that there was more than one shooter. And I think that these are some of the questions that we need to extract from the head of the Secret Service when she testifies before Congress next week is how many shooters were there? And then how many shots did they fire? How much brass, as we talked about when we were discussing earlier, did they collect from Thomas Crook's position? And
okay, so getting to the point of what he's trying to say is here's his original. There is the open window. Now, why are the media putting Crook's body way on this side of the building? Well, let's find out.
is the position where they're putting him. So now we have two different news organizations putting him to the far right of the first floor window. And then I saw a image where his deceased body, and this image was from ABC News. It shows his body to the left of that one floor building.
Right. And here is the not 5-foot ladder that they say he didn't need to access it, climbed up on an air conditioning vent.
And so I had thought that that the Secret Service had taken him out with a single shot to the head in the position they was shooting. So my question was, why were news organizations showing him to the far right on that one-story building? So what I did, the best that I could do with the tool set that I had available, is I started taking snapshots of Trump's speech to the point where I became very close to the moment in time before to the unknown, out to the right. And so what I did is I dropped the line to the left, I dropped the line to the right, and I came to an average. When I came to an average, it pointed at the position that the news organizations were saying that Kurtz was in, not to the actual position where his body was discovered. So that confused me even more. And so I started looking for video to see, well, because the images I were looking at were just the Google Maps, where they really don't give you any elevation of the building. So given my lines were going to the position that the news organizations were placing him, I wanted to.
So you get the idea. There's are the photographs. There's the ladder. There's, this is, they're giving it to us. Sometimes they release psyops like flat earth and wow, why are they telling the truth? Well, they're replacing it with a lie. The flat earth psyop is to be replaced with, oh, let's worry about giants and Nephilim. And that's what the whole Bible's about. That's the flat Earth psyop.
Trajectory. And not only is there a second floor window, but the video footage clearly shows that that second floor window is open. And so now if we go to slide number 7, you can see in that red dotted rectangle that that window is open, and anyone can go to Sky News helicopter video showing.
So that their contention is that that's how come the shots are muffled. Let's go into the audio aspect of it. Thank you, Paul from Legally Armed America. These are people who Trump can do no wrong. This was a miracle from God.
Some shots were fired inside a building, inside a window. It's because the first 3 shots that we hear from the side of this building do not have an echo, which would indicate it being fired from inside a building, and the inside of the building would have captured all that sound, not allowing it to bounce off the walls and the rooftops and things of that nature. Where if you notice, the other reports that come out after the first 3 shots do have an echo.
Here's an interesting thing. 1, 2, and 3, besides being muffled and further away, it doesn't have echoes. Here we have, this is a shot here, this one, this peak. Oh, darn it, I don't have my thing up again. Here we go. So this here is a shot. This is an echo. Very clearly an echo, and a shot in an echo, and a shot in an echo. So this is actually critical evidence, because you hear that, there's echoes coming off. So that also allows us, again, to analyze where was this gun. But first up, we just have an absolutely different sound between the first 3. There's no echo. It's much further away. It's more muffled. It's just not in the same place at all. But these next ones, very different sound, totally different weapons. Okay, full stop. We have 2 separate weapons. Plus, we have no echoes coming off of the first 3, and then we do have echoes coming off of the next set. And that last one, that's different. That's not the sniper shot. The sniper
That would
shot
certainly indicate to me that at least the first 3 shots were closer to where this video was shot and were inside something which captured all of the echo. What are your thoughts?
So, it's just something that put it out there that they are giving this away. I need to get that other video. This will work. Because when you see this, you're going to be like, oh my goodness. I'm so glad I waited. Uh-oh, did I do it right?
Guys, I'm not sure how well they'll get along, just because, like, I love both these guys. Their personalities are so.
I wonder what he's talking about. Okay, let's put this one in here.
Guys.
Okay, so this is looks like an Airbnb, and it looks like people are just walking through the kitchen.
Okay, this is an ad we don't usually have.
Again,
I'm not sure how well they'll get along.
Okay, so this is looks like an Airbnb.
Come
and it looks like people are just walking through the kitchen, the living room.
Well, on my
and
other
they're not
channel,
any of the
there's
wives-
no
I don't know
ad.
what is going on? There's an OBS update. I can't fix it. I'm not an audio person, and I can't make the. But anyway, love you guys. Enjoy the video. So people's opinion of George Soros.
So this is a George Soros thing, and in his first few minutes, he's talking about how he's got 100,000+ subscribers in the last few days because he's talked about the assassination, and it's crazy, and they're letting the truth out. These guys, Soros, putting out.
I saw him do was this. So I saw him make a post on X, right? And this is going to go through that for you guys. Andrew Soros, son of far-left businessman George Soros, shared on his X profile a post from the far-left group The Atlantic showing a bullet hole and 6 bills totaling $47. The amount is both interesting and shocking since it coincides with the number of the next president.
Right. It's the 47th president. So they make a big deal out of that. They also had this. The stocks, people, short selling stocks like they did on 9/11. Come on, people, now smile on your brother. They're just laying it right out in the open. And because this is not happening, to what it seems like the right wing and the conspiracy, the left are going to, expose it. The right are going to elect Trump. And it's going to be a disaster.
Denied accusations of attempting to short 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, attributing the incident to a clerical error. Okay. So if you don't,
he drags it out and makes it seem like, wow, a clerical error, and it was simply forgiven. That's unusual.
Which appeared to be a bet on the company's value plummeting if Trump were killed. Okay. That's 100% exactly what would have happened. They would have made so much money.
It's all so easy and it's right there for them. And he proves it. What's this? Have you seen this one? Who was on the water tower? Clayton Morris. Hundreds of thousands of views. Everybody knows.
Transition over to the other part of the story where I don't know if anybody else has seen this. Looks like around 377,000 people have seen it so far. But we actually have a video of someone on the water tower, which was one of the multiple other.
So these are all of the ones that you've been seeing. Is it the side open window? Is it not? Now, my first video, I can't show you because I'm banned for a week on my other channel. It kind of had a similar feel as this one. And I saw this. Let's see what this one is.
This is a woman whose account I found today, and she had a fantastic video that I watched. And I actually intentionally wanted to use hers for this because I would encourage you guys to watch this video. Okay. You'll find it, dude. The story just got way worse. She's awesome. I subscribed instantly. And this is a little bit of like 30 seconds or something of Second Shooter. Then we're going to look at a video of who was behind Donald Trump at this time. And then now we've got that person ID'd. And this is going to melt your brain. I might even just show you the post and then just stop talking to the camera and end the video. Watch this, dude.
Assassinations of other political figures such as John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. And speaking of questionable things, there is another clip that has many people asking questions. A woman at the rally was standing behind Trump and appears to have been bracing for something before any shots were fired, and she seemed quite unfazed.
Watch this, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this.
If you want to
puts the sign up.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there.
And there's this clip.
Real quick. I'm going to go over that one more time with you guys because I did.
Right. And
I actually don't remember.
He drags this out for quite a while. So I'm going to skip ahead.
What came after this? Because when I saw, you'll see.
Right there.
And there's this clip of a Secret Service agent talking on his headset while
this guy here must be talking on his headset.
they are escorting Trump into a vehicle. The guy then points his gun at Trump.
That's pretty weird.
For a moment, and then he puts it down.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I hadn't seen that. I don't know what that means. I'm not even going to comment on that last part.
So she works for the CIA, I guess. That girl that was so suspicious.
Assistant Director of the FBI is who they're reporting that is. So, yeah.
Yeah, Assistant Director. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Wow. Wow. So let's just look up, you know, we've seen that going live here. Let's look up. So again, you know, fair use. Well, look at the shooting, and I'll show you who's suspicious. Boy, they really have to go with this. So getting to jazz up everything.
Says he is okay after being hit by a bullet just minutes into giving a speech at a Pennsylvania rally. The shooter
Now let's see
has
who
been
really
killed,
reacts
and one
in a
person
funny,
attending the
weird
rally
way.
was killed.
Is it the
2
guy that
others
they
were injured in
suspected?
the shooting.
John Kennedy Jr. There he is. See, he lifted his head up.
Trump could be seen reaching
He's
for
not
his face
reacting
and
in it,
neck,
you know.
then quickly ducking behind the
He's not
podium
ducking.
as his Secret Service detail rushed the stage. Several
So we got the girl, the assistant director of the FBI. Where's she? She's down here reacting somewhere with her phone.
loud bangs continued. The former president appearing to be injured, but still pumping his fist to supporters.
So is this a water tower girl?
The gunfire. Just heard pop, pop, pop. Right away, you think, well, maybe firecrackers, and you're kind of stuck.
That's the pop, pop, pop of the first 3 shots.
And then fire, and then like return fire, and then get down. So we got down, and we huddled, and we just started praying.
President.
Well, not everybody huddled. Not everybody huddled. Going back, looking for a longer version of it. Let's see what the C-SPAN, if they have the longer.
Our country, probably 20.
Okay, so the sign is up. Now, here's John F. Kennedy Jr. That's the QAnon deal, right? They're all looking over there. Is that the CIA girl? Yes, no? He's looking over. They're all looking over there. They could be looking at the chart, or they could be looking at an assassin.
20 million people.
She's looking. He's looking. He's looking the wrong way. She's looking the wrong way. She's looking the right way.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months
He
old.
looked back the other way.
Nonchalant.
Now he looks down. He's going to flap the inside of his jacket, looking at his phone or something. At the same time, the other girl is nonplussed, the assistant director of the FBI. She's packing. She's probably feeling confident.
Thing that said,
shake your
take a look
coat.
what happened.
What's up? Boom. Shots go off. No panic. He feels safe. Feels totally safe. He's filming. She's the assistant director of the FBI. And then they bring on the clown show. Wow. It's a clown show.
What do you want to do with that, dude? Do with it what you will. I'm just here talking, okay? Just here talking. And now we are going to move over to one other story that I just wanted to talk about briefly, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because I think I've been talking plenty long. Check this out, all right? So yesterday, in case you guys were unaware, like the entire American airline system got shut down in the afternoon. In the afternoon, not in the morning, in the afternoon. Why is that relevant?
Okay, so this is the CrowdStrike situation. familiar with the CrowdStrike situation? What would it be like if you can't access your bank, get on the plane to go home?
But again, that seemed to have been targeted. The airline thing, my guess, I'm like, that's got to have something to do with Trump, most likely. And even if it doesn't, it's a massive cyber attack, and it's right before the RNC, the biggest night for Trump's big emergence, where he's going to give his speech. Dana White gave the best speech ever. I'm going to do a video about that later. But here's.
So we got the CrowdStrike. Here's something to think about. You know, we live in a world of conspiracies. Kind of faded away there for a second. Fluoride is one. They talk about it coming in World War II, how they used it to pacify the people in the concentration camps. And the question was first asked, how did the Nazis get so much compliance? There's clips, famous film clips of a father carefully lining up his family so they'll be in a straight line before they get shot. That's right. Trump was great friends with Vince McMahon. If you can see, there's a Zackety Doo-Dah, checking it out. So we got the drinking water, you know, based on science now. This is going to help your teeth, you know. So that's just one thing I wrote down. Yet we, you particularly, are in a world of programmed people lining up to buy silver and gold because you're going to make it through this reset work and world, and with your God and guns and gold, and trust in Trump. The trend is your friend. You've heard about the Demas. Demas did fall away. He was somebody mentioned in the Bible. We'll, Lord willing, get to him. What they want you to believe is that you are ugly, even if you look like a model. They want you to think there's something wrong with you, that you don't fit in. The sound of rushing water, the sound advice of a hippophil, the sound of a voice. Glad you have an ear to hear. So inclined you may have half a mind. Now, these were written. I was in an accident and I suffered a concussion, and, you know, my neck is real stiff. I'm recovering and I haven't been able to move, and I could only get comfortable to write down a few things at a time, and that was it. We know Judas the betrayer was thinking something other than he was a devil, as described in the St. John's Gospel, chapter 6. Did they hear something? What? What did Judas not hear? Because the other people said that, you know, why would they go to anyone else? Because Jesus has the words to eternal life. I wrote down how many more disturbing revelations can a man endure before breakfast? John chapter 6, verse 65 through verse 71. John 15, verses 16 through 19. Matthew chapter 3, verse 9, and continuing. Too much of not enough? Every area of the world was assigned a Elohim. The sun moves in vortex spiral. No, there's no mushrooms involved in any of this. Beware conspicuous behaviors, actions to be observed by others when the glory of God was not the primary intent. While others teach premillennialism for a new way to make a living on YouTube, I teach it because I'm answering a calling. Time will never seem to be enough without minute-to-minute faith. You were not born in a minute that can be You were not born in a movie that can be screened, then re-edited if the original ending does not sell well at the theater, doesn't get enough tickets. No, that's not your life. You were born with talents of gifts from God Most High. How you use them is how you will be judged. The name Trinity, the Trinity program for the World War II atom bomb project, ties into the false Trinity God that has been forced mentally upon us to accept. There is no magic math that was discovered in the 1930s that led to an atomic bomb through quantum math and quantum physics. That's all a part of the same story of where Bush's life was just saved by a miracle of God. And he's going to help our country get back on the right track now. That's all part of the same lie. There is no magic math in the quantum realm that teaches men not to explode, but to implode with accuracy that causes a bigger explosion with lethal fallout. From that point, mutual mass destruction. Ask why. And then trade Republican and Democrat for capitalist or communist, because that is, they want to make it an either or. So I would say never be gold rusher. Don't be like caught up in a gold rush as if only. I'm going to read this again here because this is important to me. Never be gold rushing as if only. Always doubt with hushing. Lips do talking. Need an altar not to falter. Some make vow. Some need conversation. Others need vows. I have no other decree from the watchers except that given to Daniel. Remember, Daniel had a decree from the watchers, and that's a big deal to a lot of people. What are they going to do with all of that information about the watchers? I've got to get a couple of headlines pulled up here. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to get back on some of the topics for today. So let's I guess we're going to go in this order. All right, so here it is. Let me share the screen again. Now let's look at this here. You know, this is some pretty fine gold working, right? What if you Tartarians and the people of Asia were the honkies? They were the white people. Here's something the Scythians. You don't hear about them that much. Oh, I didn't want just the picture. Doggone it. After all of that build up, I've got to go back to the thing. Because I didn't want simply the picture. I wanted the whole. I wanted us to go over the Scythians and put them in a type of a situation where we can look at them. I get it. All right. So they say they don't study them too much. Horse riding, nomadic people, Eastern Iran. Now that are you. That is you. That's your Aryans. That's mostly the white audience that I have. And I got to say, I think that this looks like a C. Their Scythian kingdom looks like the corpus callosum in your brain for a reason. I don't think it had to look like that. Looking here, where's Alexandria? Over here was Phoenicia, Jerusalem. Isn't that, where they claim? So the Scythians, here they are, 3 types, and they wear the Phrygian cap. For the Archimedes, there were 3 types of sakas beyond the sea. Was it beyond the Red Sea? That presumably the Scythians between the Greeks and the Thracians. So there's 3 people there. These are supposed to be recognizably different at one time in the world. We don't hear a lot about one of them. I think, look at that. That seems kind of weird. But they could do the gold, and they had, look at that. That says something on the knife. Remember the beginning of your way. Live on the 13th. Okay. Great honorable men. Well, they're different sizes, but still have that Phrygian cap. There had to be a time, when people were making gold like this, casting tin and iron, not being stupid, knowing how to get the ore and smelt it, and doing it along with making calendars and everything else. So they were expelled by the Medes. Remember the law of the Medes, the Babylonians and the Persians, which had to agree? If one of them made a law, it had to be for all 3. 3 people ran the world. King David was one of them at one time. They were way up there. So this is all Bible stuff. It's always going to be Bible times. Wow. So let me go and get a couple of Bible verses. I want to look at this one. Don't lose patience, I pray. Here we go. So we are going to go there to here. 601. Be glad to get my other channel back. I uncover, bring to light, reveal. Things that will be revealed. The book of Revelation, I don't know if we, it's the book of the apocalypse. Do we know what that? The revelation, it's the lifting of the veil. For them, it was the lifting of the veil. These, there are things that were concealed and then revealed. And this specific word is always, it's the Son that wills this to be revealed. Flesh and blood didn't reveal that to them, Learn to be like little children, that their hearts may be revealed. How did I get here? I was thinking from the book. Let's look up 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 12. We'll start at verse 10. Their salvation, our salvation, concerning this salvation, the prophets who prophesied about the grace that was to be theirs, and inquired carefully, inquired what person or time the Spirit of Christ in them was indicating when he predicted the sufferings of Christ and the subsequent glories. It was revealed to those people then that they were serving not themselves, but you, the prophets of old, in the things that have now been announced to you through those who preached the good news to you by the Holy Spirit sent from heaven, things which angels long to look. Isn't that unusual? You see, the angels in heaven don't have, we know the Bible is the end from the beginning. Somehow we made it. And I really do want to emphasize that I don't think a Trinity was involved in the New Testament teaching, because what we have in our Bible is an either or situation of this mystery that was revealed at the lifting of the veil. It's either going to be that the Gentiles had been planned to be saved from the very beginning, as it teaches that the gospel was preached to Abraham, that in him all nations would be blessed through a descendant of his, should Abraham keep the covenant. Because that's always the important part, the covenant keepers. Not perfect men, but covenant keepers. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, Moses, King David, Peter, the Apostle Paul, vow keepers, covenant keepers. Or it means that it's okay. The mystery is that it's okay. Those Jews chose Barabbas because they're going to get a second chance 2,000 years later. So those really are your two choices if you want to keep the Bible in its situation. So that's the situation right there. I wonder what would happen. What happens if I try to look up my channel? If it says I'm banned for a week, if I can't post, can people still watch my videos? There's my channel. Well, you can. So this is I forget which one was it that got banned. So this was 6 days ago. It's got almost 1,000 views. I put this out.
Oh, welcome everybody to
Look at that damage. I mean, I was in so much pain. And when the Lord brought, this home, I saw that this was real. I was watching a video in the chat room from JT Loves JC, heard that it was real, looked into it, and within 40, 50 minutes, made a video. And I think it stands up.
Armageddon. The Mudflood was Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way.
Wow. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? Look at my face. I can't believe that was only 6 days ago. My face is healed. My range of motion my neck is still stiff, but I have a full, I feel like my recovery is there. And for a 65-year-old, 65 and a half years old, it was quite a thumping. And I just thank the Lord. When he wants to get my attention, he does it. Trump shot. Was this a conspiracy? QAnon.
Hey, thank you
JFK.
so much. Renegade Seed. I ran into you twice today. We heard about this at the same time. I was watching a video of JT Loves JT. Once again, was watching this video with Renegade Seed and some others, and we heard that the president was shot. I thought, false flag right off the bat, because this has been predicted for some time. I wonder what this stick is he's holding here. Is that I don't know. But let's get a look at the guy.
Oh, it's not a stick, it's a railing.
KDKA political reporter John Delno, two people who were at this rally are dead. That includes the shooter, according to the Butler County DA, and an audience member.
I'm going to do this thing because I'm going to be looking at some other videos, in a day of a turning point in history, but I still need to do that. So we haven't got a look at the guy that was accused of being John F. Kennedy Jr. In the QAnon.
There's just
Remember
too
all
much
of that
nonsense.
nonsense when President Trump was running and getting the warp speed. So
I don't get right to it?
Margaret, now is a time to bring down the temperature and assess what happened, ensure that everyone is safe. Already, one person who went to this rally.
No, there's people dead. They thought they heard firecrackers.
That's right. They said at first
Second,
they said it
because we
sounded
are
like
getting word
firecrackers.
that President Biden
Training Center in Beltsville, Maryland.
a written statement saying I have been briefed. Something's labeled officially as a sniper incident. What does that mean to you, and especially for agents working this on the
Because
ground?
this was all within the hour. This was going, so this is fresh.
Well, if that does turn out to be the case, then obviously
there's the guy I want you to focus on.
With a very
right here yelling. That's JFK.
Long-range rifle, similar to
right here. Now there's a clip. That's the guy. I remember the QAnon like it was yesterday.
a deer rifle or something like that.
And there's video on here where he doesn't
So
flinch.
if, in fact, someone was in a place outside of that perimeter and were able to do that, it would have had to be quite a
He's
distance.
filming the whole thing.
What I said a moment ago, the normal security plan is going to involve 3 concentric rings of security, an outer, a middle.
That's like, I've seen the arguments. Why are the women so short? Are they really Secret Service? So much has been learned in the last 6 days. But it all points towards it's a false flag cover-up of somehow that's going to be exposed, and, it might sweep him into the White House. It might not, but supposedly, when he was in office, the stock market was unending great. And then when Biden took over, it's been unending great. But the last 8 years have always seemed like a struggle to everybody I know. We never see the benefits of the stock market, only the BlackRock and Blackstone and those guys.
In an inner perimeter.
Right. So we know they're going to be talking about this a long time. How did the former president,
that girl in her sunglasses, and the other girl, they made some funny videos about her.
Security break down so much that they allow this to happen. This really happened. Now they show this a couple of times, and
so here
he is. Now, okay.
Looking
Now,
down,
this
looks
is
up,
the
no
part here.
panic. No panic with the assistant director of the
We're gonna let this
FBI.
roll. When it gets to the crowd,
He points his gun. Is he going to get a message to get ready to
so
shoot
there's
him?
the pro wrestler. I did it.
Get ready to shoot
You
Trump.
know, this could be the one that the left is going to say, look, this looks
No,
ridiculous.
don't shoot him.
I have Dabu's
We're gonna
007.
boom, put on her sunglasses. She straightens her jacket like, I'm done here. I got to get ready to pose. This girl, they make a big deal. She's having, like they said in that one video, she had a bad day. She can't holster her gun.
Pulled up. I saw that girl.
3
put her
women got it all
sunglasses on.
figured out.
Okay, so here he's starting to talk. In another clip, this one they didn't show, he's looking down, and then he looks up right after he touches his ear. This girl sees something where my mouse is. Watch how
This girl here is not an assistant director of the FBI. That's this girl. She reacts. She hears the gunshot.
everybody reacts in some way except this guy,
And her.
the QAnon JFK Jr. No reaction. See, he's looking down, timed it, no reaction.
He has
Even
less
since
reaction than
everybody
her.
else is like, what's going on? And he is as cool as a cucumber. No looking around.
Boom, now a bullet.
No wondering what's going on. So that took me a little bit longer to queue up, but I want to be the first to show and add in the conspiracy world. And so this is where allegedly the sniper just crawled right out on this.
And see, notice this angle? They have him lined up with the open window that they only recently are talking about today. We know that his body was found, they were like, oh, maybe he's blocked by this tree, right here. He was shot dead over here. Yet they show the line of sight with him not on the other side. They show him facing the crowd. It's like his. Come on.
So, according to the Dabu, I don't know.
Yeah, again, so some of these shots, little graphics, I'm not showing them. Look it over here, and I'm gonna check the chat here for a second. Up there on the roof, you come across this, the investigator, he's gonna say, it's the best place.
So from the very beginning, they had the angle that they were going to say, this is the angle he was shot at. Remember, I made this video within the hour with all the news. And, I think the only one that beat me on the air was Dabu7, and he was just a short video, but he was showing this important detail. They already had the angle figured with the body. You can see where my mouse is on this side of the center dangerous sloped roof.
In the whole area, the set of shooter is where the shooter got into position. How is that possible? How?
Let's go live. Oh, over. Down, did he send a message? Let's go crazy. In a book, I would say, I looked down and typed into my activated phone, do it now. I looked up, remaining calm, maybe too calm in hindsight.
Of fireworks, that same tone, that same volume, that same rapidity.
So they're all sounding like the first shot, or the first shots that, was a guy good enough to shoot his ear and then kill somebody? That would be the most sympathetic person in the audience that isn't a federal FBI assistant director. That's pretty high up there. I mean, that's
Of course, it's a woman's world. Pop sounded like fireworks the first day.
Pyrotechnic show of fireworks.
Him, there's security and Secret Service.
The only problem is there's a man dead. A Hispanic man got his head blown off, and a couple of other people were shot. So we're going to have to see how this plays out.
I was up on a press rafter facing the former president from above, and those of us on the rafters jumped below to get beneath them, all kinds of equipment and tables falling on top of us to shield ourselves. And we can look out and see other members of the crowd, of which there were thousands here today, doing the same, face planting into the ground.
Adjust your glasses.
Up against the bike rack barriers. That
somebody hit her glasses. Doggone it. Was it the president?
You can see after the former president was moved off the stage, some group of...
Fight who? Fight who? Is this really republicanism or democracy? Because replace that with capitalism or communism. And that's what, since World War II, World War I, it's always been set up. That's the continuing argument. And if you believe that he's going to be the answer.
Hi, thank you for having me on. I was in the stands about 30 feet away from an individual that received a head wound, a headshot. He was on the right. He was on the lower portion of the same stands. I was looking at the graph when I heard what sounded like firecrackers going off. I saw the Secret Service then swarm over Donald Trump, and somebody near the location of this individual cried out, he's down, he's hurt, he's been shot. And so, being an emergency department physician, I just went into muscle memory and went down there to assist him.
And how did you assist him, doctor? And what did he look like? What were the extent of his wounds?
Let's see if that's a little bit too specific here. I can't holster it, so I'm going to just act like I'm going to guard it. Now I'm going to, yeah. There you go. 3 women, short women in charge. But she had a bad day.
Folks, I hate asking for money. It's my least favorite part of running for office. I know how hard you work.
Take a look at what happened.
It's the Secret Service's biggest crisis in decades. How did a 20-year-old gunman climb a rooftop with a rifle and fire shots at former President Donald Trump?
Now, see, look at the angle of that shot. Now, where is it going to be 3 weeks from now?
From less than 150 yards away.
This is a colossal failure for the Secret Service.
The Secret Service isn't just responsible for the safety and security of the protectee. They're also there for the safety and the security of the people that are showing up to these events. So this is tragic all around.
Here's what we know about the security gaps that led to...
And I think I'm going to finish this up with the redacted Clayton and Natalie. Because they put out this.
If you want to teach your children what a narcissist
video.
Looks like, then show them a picture of this man living at 1600.
I think it was one of the ones that they put out, the 10-minute ones. Wait, this was a good one. I'm going to save that one.
Well, Republican delegates at the RNC want President Trump, if he gets reelected, to release the Jeffrey Epstein client list. They want answers. Of course, we all do. They want to know which dirty Democrats are on that list. One delegate was even caught on camera during a CNN report wearing a Release the Epstein client list t-shirt.
Now, it's essentially like in free fall. I think you're having a renewed focus there, especially because everything that's happening there, and with the recent attempt on Trump's life over the weekend, is going to essentially, in my opinion, lead many people in mainstream media to believe, and I don't think it's wrong either, that Trump is, the most likely victor in November. So getting back on the good side of the RNC is definitely going to be on the mind of mainstream media.
He looks healthy. That not the dog, the man.
Yeah. Because a lot of their success, I guess you could say, in getting exclusive interviews and stories is all related to access, particularly to whichever side of the two-party system is in power at that point in time. So
yeah,
not
it's just
that shocking.
Yeah, not that shocking to see the media just really in lockstep there. So very little critical reporting going on.
So this is 6 days after the shooting. Finally gets Whitney Webb on, and she's going to break down and say, "Look, you're making a hero out of the guy that Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Thiel basically put in office, and they have planned the warp speed, the jab, Recovery Act, and everything else."
And there with him, which was received donors from, some of their biggest donors of that particular fund were people like Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and also the Walton family of Walmart, which, if you're familiar with them, have a very extensive ties to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family in general. And subsequently, decided to run for office and received $15 million in donations from Peter Thiel for his successful Senate campaign. And, Vance, as people have noted since his nomination, was originally, when he hit the campaign trail initially, a never Trumper. And his entry back into Trump's good graces was directly facilitated by Peter Thiel, who was a major donor to Trump's first campaign and very influential on his transition team during his first term. And so Peter Thiel has, I would argue, rightly been noted as sort of the guiding hand behind Vance. And upon the announcement that Vance would serve as Trump's VP over the weekend, Peter Thiel, as well as a lot of people involved with the so-called PayPal mafia, which again, Peter Thiel is a PayPal co-founder. You have Elon Musk and David Sachs, for example, in that particular network. They announced that they were going to be heavy donors to the Trump campaign, as did Palantir Technologies, which is a company co-founded by Peter Thiel, as well as another co-founder of Palantir with close ties to Peter Thiel, Joe Lonsdale. So a lot of this money from this particular Thiel network has started flowing into a multi-million-dollar a month super PAC with some of the biggest names in Silicon Valley venture capital and Silicon.
What is Palantir?
If tuna is one of the healthiest and leanest protein you can eat,
that's not
why are we eating more of it? We'll tell you exactly.
To target minority communities at that point in time with the COVID-19 vaccine. So Palantir is really a company that a lot of people need to know a lot more about. And it's very unsettling, in my opinion, that it's directly donating so much money to the Trump campaign and that two of its co-founders are also doing that. And Palantir, again, is not the only unsettling Thiel-backed company that is involved with essentially developing this pre-crime apparatus.
Donald Trump.
In addition, when Palantir was first created, they were created with funding from InQtel, the CIA's venture capital arm, and their only client until 2008 was the CIA. And according to CEO Alex Karp, the CIA was always the intended client of Palantir. Their engineers made over 200 visits to Langley CIA headquarters in their first few years as a company. So the ties with the CIA and Palantir are really as deep as you can get.
So a lot of Americans probably have no idea about this. Those hardworking Americans who go out to a Trump rally, who think that you know, get your government out of my life. Do not tread on me. Don't tell me what to do. Don't realize that a lot of the money that's flowing into the Republican Party is coming from an apparatus which wants to spy on them, which actually thinks a lot of these Trump supporters, these MAGA supporters who've been labeled as subversives, and they think, oh, Trump's going to protect us from that. No, there's a lot of money actually flowing into the Republican Party from an apparatus which actually believes they are bad people.
Whether Trump knows or he doesn't, there's certainly people.
So I've been saying for a long time, why? Why does it seem like Trump is showing you all this love and that all of your hopes and dreams will be answered if he's only reelected? So it'll hurt more when they take that love away from you. That's why. So it'll hurt more. They're showing you love, so it hurts more when they take it away. And you'll try to comply and work with him and help that deep state mafia.
People around him, or who are likely to be in his cabinet that are aware of what Palantir does, because it's a very old agenda that, you know, here I point out how it goes back to the Reagan-Bush era. But you could really make an argument, as Yasha Levine does in his book Surveillance Valley, that the internet's earliest days, going back to when it was a military project called ARPANET, were about counterinsurgency and identifying people who might be a threat to the status quo through their activity on this particular network and through data mining. Which is something to be considered, because if you look back at, you know, the policy of domestic terror, for example, during the Clinton administration, there was a focus on veterans, a focus on militias.
And being a veteran in the militia, as the son of my dad, things were crazy back then. Somebody might have popped in out. There goes Victoria. Here we go. Keeping it rolling here.
That is essentially what is happening, and it's actually been in the works for several years. For several years now, there has been a lobbying effort to replace the current 911 call center system in the U.S., which is decentralized and, you know, more or less based on each county, to make it a new national federal system called Next Generation, or NG 911. And Carbine 911, since it was created, has become extremely close with the main lobbying group for NG 911 and is slated to be the vendor of choice if and when legislation for Next Generation 911 is pushed through. And again, with, you know, major people in DHS, major people with ties not just to the Trump administration, but to Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, and also another Thiel-backed military contractor now building the virtual border wall on the U.S.-Mexico border, Anduril. It's very likely that Carbine 911 would be slated for, you know, preferential treatment.
Unbelievable. A little bit more.
Is he promoting that? Why are campaign lawyers of his promoting the idea of using biometric digital ID to vote? Why can't we use physical IDs to vote? You know, do we really need to give in to the digital agenda to save, to resolve these problems in the United States? You know, I don't really think that.
Are we ever going to resolve the problems of the United States? Hey, swimming man, how'd your shift go?
Oh, it was smooth sailing.
Well, we've been hitting it all, and we ended up with the fact that Trump is sponsored by the people in BlackRock and PayPal and everything else, and the people that are being talked into, we've got to get him in power, are forgetting that he's the guy who did Warp Speed, you know, that did all of these things. And, you know, his name is on the book with the Lolita Express too. So I was going to leave it right there and just, you know, I guess I feel like I did pretty good. I made a video. I didn't, you know, it was too much. I can't go between platforms. I wanted to tap into my own. So,
yeah, man. Well, I'll definitely go back and rewatch this. But also, I just wanted to, I mean, Donald Trump started the Space Force too. I mean, I was seriously considering joining Space Force just because I think it's a joke. And I'm sure you've heard that, what is his name, Werner von Braun or whatever, said that the alien deception was going to be the final card they pull. So I kind of wanted to just be, inside so I could be more aware of what they're doing and possibly blow the whistle.
Well, you know that I would do it as a civilian. I would not raise my hand and do anything like that. But, if I finish this university and get a degree, it'll be my first university degree. How did I get to be, somebody that paid off a house in the suburbs, technically, out of debt millionaire, by the age 50? Certificates, green belts. What you do is you go to classes on how to do this specific thing with SAP software or JB Williams software. And then they'll hire you as a temp and then as a consultant and throw money at you because you know how to do a specific thing dealing with software. You don't need a degree nowadays. All you need is a green belt and a certificate. CompTIA, take those classes and they'll hire you, man. For people like myself, it would be hard to pass a piss test. You're an adult, but I guess there's ways to get around that.
Yeah, because you were saying that possibly they would pay for my tuition out of state.
There are so many different scholarships and different ways to go to university. And let's face it, in my opinion, we're dealing with Weimar dollars. Nobody's going to be paying back their debts. We're all living on a joke right now.
Yeah.
The economy is going to crash. It's going to buckle. So who cares, if somebody your age owes X amount of dollars, if they're going to be considered old dollars someday. This is happening. This isn't a pretend thing. This isn't going to be Donald Trump saves the day and we all live happily ever after. It's going to be a whole lot closer to the fact that I may be correct and the Chinese are going to want their money back. The BRICS account is going to be the new banking system, and America is going to be left as the patsy because we didn't save the world in World War II. There are no atomic weapons. This is all a mafia lie to get the rest of the world, which is millions and billions of people, and we're only 400 million of it. We go down, we get rearranged. That's a blip on the radar for the other mafias who still have skin in the game, money to be made before the end. And let's face it, they have to keep those lines of communication open, Zach, and this is going to sound gross, because those babies aren't going to cook and eat themselves. They've got to do it.
Yeah, man. It's I just wanted to tell you too. I was on my road trip with my dad. I was showing him playing all your videos on the road trip, and he's 60. He just turned 67. I mean, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. So, I mean, he believes in the globe. He was in the space program and all that stuff. Bible believer, but Trinity believer, and not aware of the millennial reign kingdom. Your theology, pretty much. So, I mean, he considered it. But yeah, it was interesting,
Well, you tell him that, what brought this all on was that my son was in the Air Force. And he was a part of a group that they were using an instrument that, for some reason, even with the battery out of it, they could still if you were good enough, track it, use your voice, know where you are. And my son was part of the group bagging and tagging people in 2011 because Mitt Romney said Barack Obama is weak on terror. So all of a sudden they ramped that up. This technology that somehow where they can track people at all times, even if the battery's out, was now perfected by the Carlyle Group, owned by the Bushes and the Cheneys, that they don't need people to do it anymore. So all the people like my son are either disappearing or they've turned into rum-dum drunks, you know? And I wanted to find out what happened, and that's what led to this, was me finding out why they let this happen to my son. Because I was not a believer in even the 9/11 conspiracy until I started this trip to expose what they did to my son, and you know, the 96 military intelligence wing. So it's thanks for popping on. Thanks for answering the email. Like, subscribe, and share it. Victoria was here. And once I do get feeling better, I'm planning on visiting Denver and that area, you know, with the Mustang and, you know, getting out and seeing it again. So you're in my thoughts. So.
Right on, man. Likewise. God bless you, brother, man.
Amen. It's everybody. It's a flat earth nation, and the golden age is past. Never going to tell you anything else. Neither are my friends. Why would we? Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Nakame.